Okay, welcome to this session. Once again, good morning to one and all. So this is the session on Python functions. Python functions. So in this particular session, we are going to discuss what is functions, what is Python functions, how to write the definition of the functions, and how to call the functions. Now we'll move towards the functions. Now see, in Python or in any language, function helps for the modular programming. Now, what is the use of function? Why we are writing the functions? If suppose anything, for example, I want to find the square root. So instead of writing the code for square root, always if you create a function of square root, at any point of time you can call that particular square root function, and because of that you can save your time and you can use that function or the calling of the function again and again. So in case of Python also, if you write the functions, it will help for the modular programming. Now, in Python, there are two types of functions. One is inbuilt function and another is user-defined function. For example, whatever a function like a print function we are using in the Python, it is inbuilt function. We are just passing the value, we are just passing the text inside the print, and the definition of the print, it is written somewhere in the file. Okay, so that there are two types of functions in Python. One is inbuilt function and another is user defined function. So inbuilt functions, those are the part of the language, or those are the part of the, suppose Python, if you are taking the example of Python, the Python having many inbuilt functions like print function, input function, so many functions, square root function, cost function. So those are the inbuilt functions of the Python. So means what? The definition of that function is already written. The definition is already written, and the user who want to use it, just he has to call the function by passing the parameter. Directly it will give the result. But in case of user defined function, another type of function is user defined function. If suppose I want to create something, if suppose I want to do something regularly, so for that purpose I can write my own function, and that function can be called in the Python environment to perform some operation. So whenever I am writing a function by myself, that is nothing but called as user defined function. So remember, there are two types of Python functions. One is inbuilt function, so that are already available in the Python environment, and another is user defined function. If suppose some function or some task I want to do it again and again, and for that task if the function is not available, then I can write my own function definition and I can call that function. It is called as user defined function. Now see, user defined functions can be written for performing specific tasks and be called in the program. So you are writing your own definition of the function as per your requirement, and you are using that at some point of time for performing some specific task in the program, and you can call anywhere. You can call multiple times. It is not necessary to call once. If once you have written the definition of the function, you can call that function many times to perform the operation. So that is nothing but called as user defined function. Now, what is the syntax of the Python function? So you must remember the syntax for Python function. How you can define the function? There is a word def. There is a word def. Then you have to give the function name. You have to give the function name. Then simple bracket. You have to pass the parameters. You have to pass the parameters. Put the colon. Once you enter here, it will keep some space. That is nothing but indentation. Then as per your requirement, you can use or you can write multiple statements and you can return the value. So that particular, this is nothing but a syntax of the Python function. So function, it must start with the def. This is the word keyword. The function must start with the def. Then you have function name. You can keep the function name anything. Then you have to pass the parameters. After passing the parameters, put the colon, and then you have to write a multiple statement and you have to return the value. If you are not putting the return value, the function will return not a number or no any value, it will return. So here, and how to call the function. This is nothing but a syntax or a definition of the function, how you are calling the function, then function name, and you have to values or parameter values you have to pass. So this is nothing but how you can pass the function or how you can call the function. One example here, you can see here def, then addition is the name of the function. Those are the parameters a comma b and colon. Then the definition I have written c is equal to a plus b, return c, return c. Now I have taken the print function addition of two numbers, and I have called the function addition by passing the values 5 and 2. I got the answer as a 7. So this is nothing but how you can write the definition and how you can call the definition, how you can call the function. So I will show you how to write the function here by writing multiple functions. You can write any type of functions. So I will rename this functions, rename it. Okay. So function, first of all, function definition. Function definition. How I will write the function. You must use def keyword, and then I will write func1, function 1, or I will write function 1. Then you have to put the simple bracket and pass the parameters. So suppose the parameters are a and b. Then put the colon. Once you hit the enter, it will automatically take some space, that is nothing but indentation. This is indentation. Now suppose I want to calculate the c is equal to 2 into a plus b, 2 into a plus b. Now I can write return c. So this function, this is nothing but a function definition. Function definition. If suppose I want to call that function, I want to call this function, I will call this function function 1 by passing the parameter, if suppose 3 comma 2, okay, 3 comma 2, and I will run it. So what is the answer is 8. See, 3 into 2 6 plus 2 8. So I am getting the answer as a 8. I will call it multiple times. Suppose function by passing different values, suppose 4 and 8, 4 and 6, run it. I'm getting the answer as a 14. So for that I have to print it. Print. I will put the print so that it will print the result. It will print the result. Print. Now run it. 8 and 14. See the 14. 4 into 2 8. 8 plus 6 14. So multiple times you can call the function. You can call the function in the program. If suppose I am not writing the return function, if suppose I am not writing return function, then what will be the result? You can run it. You are getting none result because this function is not returning any value. It is performing the some operation. Definitely it is performing, but it will not return anything. So you must put the return keyword, return c, means it will return the value of c and it will be displayed. So this is nothing but 8 and 14. So multiple times you can call the function and you can write the function. Suppose I want to write a function to calculate the area of the circle. For example, def circle area, what is the parameter to be passed? The radius r. It should be, we must pass the radius. Okay. So what is the answer? The area is equal to r square, 3.14 into r into r. Then return area. Okay. Now suppose in a program, I have run it. I have to run it. Okay, run it. I will call the circle function. Circle of. And I want to calculate the area of circle whose radius is 10. Whose radius is 10. Just run it. You are getting answer 3140. 3140. So this is nothing but how you can write multiple functions, how you can define the functions. As per your requirement, you can define the functions. So this is helpful for the modular programming, as I have told. Now, see this print function. This print is already available. Suppose I'm using the print. This is also function because you are passing some value into the simple bracket. Suppose this is inbuilt function, because the definition is already written for the print. But if some special, for some special purpose, for purpose as per the person, you can write different functions and you can call that function. So this is nothing but how you can define a function and how you can call this function. This is nothing but the definition of function, and this is nothing but the calling of the function. And here we are just calling because it is inbuilt function. Okay, so understood how this inbuilt function and the function definition for user defined function, how you can write. Suppose this is regarding the functions we have discussed. Now we'll move towards our presentation. Here is the definition and calling of the function you have seen. Once again, function helps for the modular programming. There are two types of functions in Python. One is inbuilt function. Example is given by me, that is a print function, input function, and many other functions that are nothing but the inbuilt functions. What is the inbuilt function? Because the definition of the function is already written by the programmers and it is saved, and you have to just call it. You need not to write a definition of that function. But in case of some special task, you can write your own function, that is called as user defined function. So user defined functions can be written for performing specific tasks. As per my requirement, as per your requirement, you can write the user defined function. Now what is the syntax for Python function? Def keyword, then function name, the simple bracket, you have to pass the parameters, and as per your requirement you have to write multiple statements and then return the value. So it will return the value. And how you can call the function name and parameter values. So you have to pass the parameter values. That is nothing but how you can call the function. So this is about functions in the Python. Now after function, there is one function that is anonymous function. So lambda, this is called as lambda function. We will discuss about the lambda function, or it is also called as anonymous function. Now what is the lambda function? See, this function is not defined with the def keyword. Listen it carefully. This function is not defined with the def keyword. Now how you can define the lambda function? Lambda function is called as anonymous because it is defined without name. So lambda keyword you have to take, lambda you have to write, and here without any name this function will be written. Hence it is called as anonymous function. Now lambda function has many arguments, but only one expression. This is very, very important. Lambda function have multiple arguments. Arguments means you can pass the parameters, multiple arguments, maybe 10, 20, 5, 2, but it should be written, or it has only one expression. Now this is the syntax how the lambda function can be written. Lambda is the anonymous function. Lambda, then the argument, you have to put the colon and you have to write the expression. So this is about the lambda function. This is also called as anonymous because it is defined without a name. There is no name. Without a name it is defined. Here is the example. C is equal to lambda, a comma b as a parameters are passed, and this is an expression a plus b. And whenever you are calling the function or calling the lambda function, at that time you have to take a variable and you have to pass the values. So it will give the result. So this is nothing but the lambda function. So I will show you how the lambda function will be declared. a new Jupyter notebook, lambda function, rename. Okay, lambda is anonymous function. Lambda is anonymous function. It can be used anywhere. Suppose I want to perform the what you can say addition of two numbers or three numbers, addition of three numbers. So I can write a is equal to, I will write lambda. Then I have to pass the parameters. So I have to pass the parameters. That is the number. If suppose a comma b comma c, then colon, I will write an expression. What is the expression? A plus b plus c. Okay. And suppose I want to call this function. So just what I will do, a is addition, add. So I will write add. I want to call this function by using this variable name where I have stored this particular function. So add 2, 3, 4. Run it. It will give the result. This is nothing but the called as lambda function. It doesn't have any name. With the help of lambda word, you are defining the function. And remember, this function will have multiple parameters. You can pass the multiple arguments, but there is one expression. You cannot write multiple expressions. If suppose area of the circle, so a is equal to, I am defining the lambda function for it. Lambda. For what is the parameter to be passed? R. What is the expression? 3.14 into R into R. Okay, and then I will pass the, or I will call the function by passing the value, suppose 2. I'm calculating the area of the circle by passing value 2. Run it, 12.96. So this is nothing but how you can write the lambda function, and this is called as anonymous function because there is no name for the lambda function. Okay, so we have seen two things into this particular lecture, function and lambda function. Functions have, this is about a function. We have discussed the function, user defined function, and after user defined function we have moved towards the lambda function, which is also called as anonymous function. So this is the def keyword with the without def keyword. This doesn't have any name. It has many arguments but only one expression, and syntax is lambda arguments, and you have to write the expression. So I think you have understood how we can write the lambda function. See, in last session or in last program, we have calculated the area of the circle by using function. How function is to be written? Define diff area. You have to pass the parameters r, then colon. What is the expression? C is equal to 3.14 into r into r, and then return C. So this is nothing but how you are writing the user defined function. The same function is written by using lambda in single line. So you can use lambda many places, at many places where you want immediate function. You want immediate function to be performed. So in that case, you can use the lambda function. And here you can call area by passing the parameter 2. So it is also performing the same operation. This is nothing but how you can perform with the user defined function, and this is how you can perform by using lambda function. So lambda is anonymous function, and this is the user defined function and calling of the user defined function. So I think you have understood the function and user defined function. So we'll stop here. If you have any doubt, then you can ask. So this is about user defined function and lambda function.